Hey, another installment. It's late, I'm tired, but I thought I can't go another day without doing a post. For anyone that's been following me over the last week or two knows that I've been traveling around, and this has been a most testing leg of the journey. I thought, what am I going to talk about today? And the day wrote itself, the content wrote itself for me. So I came back from Dubai, 2 weeks on the road, absolutely shattered, and just took the knock, right? Then I was in Southport, visited friends and family and got all that stuff out the way. But I had to catch a ferry to Santander, which is another leg of the journey. And it was meant to be tomorrow, but got a message from Brittany Ferries saying that the time of the ferry had been changed and not pushed back, brought forward a day. They didn't push it back, they brought it forward a day. So I had to change all my plans and had to find a way to get there quicker than I anticipated. But I had a pit stop to make on the way. I had to go to Luton first to pick up a vehicle, a Land Rover Discovery TD5, like an off-road monster that I was picking up from Luton. So I thought, okay, because of the ferry change, I'll go at night, because I'd done all my visiting. I thought I'd go at night, but I was wiped out. So I get as far as Burton Wood, and I thought, I can't go any longer here. I fell asleep in the chair of the car, of Mercedes, my dad's Mercedes that I was using to get to Luton, and woke up at 6 in Burton Wood service station, squashed in this little car, and I thought, oh God, no, this is just the never-ending story, a never-ending journey. So from there, I hit the road to get to Luton as quick as I could. 6 o'clock in the morning, and the traffic was mental by 7:30. So I chugged along, crunched along, and I eventually get to Luton about 10 o'clock. I think it was about 10 o'clock. Yeah, it took me about 4 hours to get there. And when I arrived, there to see my friend Jim, great friend of mine, there to pick up the Land Rover. And the Land Rover is like this off-road beast. Had a lift, massive wheels, it's got the snorkel, CB radio, the bumper removed. It is an absolute beast. But when I got there was a problem with the battery. So we couldn't get the car started. There was a problem with the battery, and I was like, oh no, how are we going to get all the stuff in the car to Spain or to Portugal? So the problem with the Land Rover is that they have a unique battery that there's only one battery that fits it. It's not like you can get a universal car battery. So you have to wait till this finishes. So I end up having to run around Luton trying to find this specialist car battery for this Land Rover. Yeah, and I spent hours going from place to place. Have you got this battery? No, try there. So it keeps going from place to place, and eventually I get a battery, take it back to Jim. Unfortunately, Jim is skilled enough that he had a workshop in which he manufactured some crazy wiring system that he was able to rig up the Land Rover. But the clock was ticking because I had to hit the road to get to Plymouth to pick up the ferry, which takes 4 hours from Luton. And I've been going from 6 a.m, remember, and also from the night before. So I'm getting a little bit delirious with it all. And so Jim's working on it with his mate Michael. And they took it to the wire. I had to leave at 4 o'clock. Any later than 4 o'clock, and I was, gonna risk missing the ferry. So 4 minutes to 4, he fixes it, turns over the engine, vroom, vroom, vroom. Car starts. I'm like, yeah, we did it. Hours of traipsing around Luton to try and solve the problem. So I get in the car, and I hadn't even sat in this car before, right? And it was a 2002 Land Rover Discovery, and they are weird cars, right? And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? 4x4, all that shit, right? And so I drive it off, and when you're driving a car that's been lifted and on huge wheels, you soon find out that they handle like a bowl of jelly. You can't go around the corner faster than it all. So that's the craziest car ever. So I'm chugging along in this car, and oh my God, I can't even get past 50 here without it being all over the road, and a really short bite on the clutch, and brakes that I had to stand on. So yeah, it was all a bit mental. So I'm driving along the motorway, and I'm 85 miles in, already the really, really stressful day. I'm like, oh God, thank God I'm on the road. Thank God I'm at this next stage. But in the back of my mind, I thought, I'm not there yet. So 85 miles in, it's dark, it's cold, it's not looking good out there. The next thing you know, the clutch goes. The clutch goes in the middle of the motorway, right? And all I can hear is from the revs. I'm like, oh no, this is a disaster. So I had to roll over to the hard shoulder, get out the car, and I'm standing on the motorway, freezing cold, in my t-shirt. I lost my coat in Dubai. So I'm standing there going, I can't believe this has happened. And because I knew it was the clutch, I thought there's no way out of this. So I get on the phone. Tries to get RAC, but because there's no tax on the car, and why not? And because there's no tax on the car, they refuse to come and get me. So I'm standing there, freezing cold, weather's getting worse, in the middle of nowhere, can't get the RAC to pick me up. Things are getting desperate, and it's my birthday. It's my birthday, right? And I'm standing there thinking, this is the worst birthday I've ever had. Freezing, no hope of getting rescued. I was then considering, doing that walk along the motorway, right, and to try and find a phone, those phones that you have on the side. At the same time, my mobile phone juice is dying on my phone, because I'd been on the road non-stop. All of my batteries and my film kit, I hadn't been able to charge them, so I had no power. Right? And I'm looking at my phone, realising I have to make these really important phone calls. I've got 18% on the phone, and things are getting desperate. So start ringing around people, sending them my location, right? I'm sending me location. If you don't hear from me in an hour, send help. Please, someone send help. So ringing around people, things are getting worse, things are getting desperate, starting to realise, one, I've missed the ferry, and two, I'm not getting out of there for hours. And I'm looking up and I can see that it's getting heavier and greyer and colder. And oh no. And then fortunately, Jim's mate said, have you checked the 4-wheel drive gear stick? I said, what do you mean the 4-wheel drive gear stick? He said, it's got 2 gear sticks. I said, yeah. So what do you mean? He said, check it's not slipped out. He said, because if it's not engaged, you won't get any traction with the gears. So in a blinding flash of hope, like the clouds opened and this ray of light just shone down upon me. I thought, please. Jumps in the car, finds the gear stick he was talking about, slams it up, right, turns the engine on, vroom, lifts the clutch, and boom, it starts moving. I couldn't believe it. Right? And he said, make sure you pull it down. So I pulled it down, and that's it. I was back on the road. I was cheering at the top of my lungs, banging the steering wheel. Yeah! Oh, what an amazing feeling, because I just thought it was all over. So I'm back on the road, and then I'd lost an hour. So now the race was on to get to Plymouth in time to catch the ferry. So highly stressed, just thinking now, okay, I've got through that, I can do it. So then I'm racing along, trying to pick up speed, because I wasn't driving more than like 55, because it was just like wobbling. The car was wobbling, but now I didn't have any time to spare. So I thought, okay, I've got to master this car. So it took it up to 70, and by now I'd done 100 odd miles, and I'd started to get used to the steering, the brakes, the clutch, right? Because it's a nuts car, right? It's not like I was driving a Merc, which I could have drove with my eyes closed, right? And I get put into this like weird machine. So it gets the car up to 70, and eventually I'm making it. I'm getting there, and I'm looking at me clock, and I'm thinking, okay, if I get there, I'll get there just in time. I'll make it. And then on my maps on my phone, it comes up and it says change of route, diversion. A diversion had just happened right as I'm traveling there. That spun me out another 15 miles, put an extra 15-20 minutes on my journey. And I was like, oh, this is just not meant to be. This is not meant to be. So I'm racing through these like side roads in this car that can't handle. The jelly's going everywhere. And then I look at my petrol. And because this car, it's not meant to be driven at 70 miles an hour. It was just drinking the juice. It was just absolutely drinking the juice. And I'm looking at it going, oh my God, it's gone into the red. It's gone into the red, but I didn't stop. I didn't stop to put petrol in, because I just couldn't afford to lose a single minute. So I just gambled and carried on going. And then I'm using my phone for navigation, and my phone's on its last legs. Phone's on its last legs. Car's on its last legs. Petrol's on its last legs. I'm on my last legs. And then my phone dies. My phone dies. No power. No way of powering the phone. So just had to go old school and rely upon travel signs, street signs. So I'm racing, and the stress levels are just at the top, because there's no other ferry from here for a week. So I had to get this ferry, because a lot of ferries have been cancelled because there's a storm coming. That's why they brought the ferry forward. So gets into Plymouth, starts following the signs for the ships, and I get there with less than 30 minutes to spare to check in. And it was just the biggest, best relief. I pulls up to the check-in desk where they give them your passport, and the guy goes, you look stressed, mate, are you okay? I said, oh man, you don't want to know the shit I've had to go to get here. And I said, on my birthday as well. And there's 4 girls and him in the office, and they all start singing happy birthday to me. It was like the highlight at the end of the journey. And I was the last car to roll in, and the last car to get on the ferry, and here I am. So that was my update. I wanted to talk about other stuff, but that's all you're getting from me today. I'm going to go and spend 24 hours on this ferry. I'm definitely going to go and have a drink, because I've definitely earned it. And I'll chill out on here for 24 hours. We arrive tomorrow in Santander, and then I've got a 12-hour drive to Algarve, and then it's over. It's over until the next one, and then I'm going to chill. And then hopefully we can pick up the thread and get some guests on the show and all that stuff. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed my little travel story. I will speak to you guys tomorrow from the ship, I guess. Not sure when. I'm not sure if I've even going to get internet. If I don't, that's the reason. There's no signal. Until next time, au revoir.